In wrestling, I had many friends, but only two best friends. First, I will go on about my glorious wife, Emma. We met in an indie show I was doing in Canada back when I was still doing a lot of Stampede with Stu Hart and the rest of the people from the Hart Dungeon. And I was traveling around Canada trying to get my name out there. And I went to this one show. And the opening match included a very, very great looking Emma. And their match, to me, stole the show. And this is back in a time where women's wrestling wasn't really respected. Even here is the opening match. But as I look back to that night, I think that was the best match of the night. Those two women really worked hard. And I thought to myself, how am I going to follow that one up? Because that was the match next. And to be honest, I don't think we were a good follow-up. It was me and some indie star. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But we went out there. I was more or less just going with the motions, going through the match. And all I had on my mind was this Emma. And I hoped that she was still back there. Because a lot of times when you're done with a match, you leave, you have another show to go to, or maybe all the way across the country, and you need to get there by tomorrow. Some wrestlers drive overnight just to make a show. And you know, she's the earliest match, she was the opening match, she might just went into the back, packed her bags, and left. But to my amazement, when I went to the back, there she was. She was talking to this one friend of hers. She had a match later on in the night. And I was like, wow, still here. I'm like, alright. Go up, talk to her, get the nerves to really just go up and talk to her. I went up, and I said, hey, that was a great match you put on. She kind of just looked at me and just said, thanks, and went back to talking to her friend. And the whole night I stayed. A lot of times I usually don't stay. I usually go right after my match. Maybe if I have a friend there, I'll talk to them and be on my way out the door. I have to go catch my next show. But Emma, she stayed. She stayed the whole entire night, from the first bell, which was her match, to the last bell. And let me tell you, the locker room was not a lot of people left. Not a lot of people were there because everyone was so worried about catching the next show. But here, it was just me, Emma, and her friend, and really the last act, the main event. And then I came up and talked to her again, asking her, why did you stay? You were the opening match. Why did you stay to the last bell? And she told me, it's all about respect. Because it takes a lot of respect to stay from the beginning to the last one, to really respect this business. Even if you have someone to be, no matter how far you need to go, no matter what time you have to meet, it is always very respectful to stay from the first bell to the last bell. And then right there, I was amazed by her respect for this business. That she would stay from the first bell, which was, like I said, her match. Her match was the first match. She could have left to the last match, all the way to the final bell, right until the 1, 2, 3 finish of the main event. And then I asked her where she was going next, and she told me she was going to Calgary. And at that point, I was like, hey, I have an apartment in Calgary. If you want to come stay with me for the night, it'll be absolutely free, and maybe get to know each other. And well, I don't know if it was my charming smile, my glorious looks, or just the fact that it was a free night. She agreed to go with me and not go with her friend like she originally planned to do. The moment we got into my car and started driving from Quebec to Calgary, there was almost like a moment of silence. We were just talking, having a good time. It was almost like we were good friends already, just having a blast of the past. But here we were, just starting out. And well, let's just say that was a start of a glorious relationship. And just a few months ago, me and Emma married. And now, after being married, we're thinking about that next step in life, having a child. And of course, that would include Emma having to go off the road for a bit for a pregnancy. Of course, the 9 months of pregnancy, we don't even know how long she could wrestle while she is pregnant. And really, for us now, in the business here by GWF, we're able to take a maternity leave for Emma, but we tried. We tried, and tried again. Nothing was happening. She kept getting the pregnancy test coming back negative, no babies, and we're wondering what's wrong. So at our next show, we decided to really get an appointment with a doctor to really see if we're both able. So we both go in and have the test at the same time. So we should get our letters relatively around the same time. May not be the same day, but we should get our results. I opened mine, and I couldn't believe the glorious news. I was good. I could have a baby. I'm fine. I went to go find Emma to tell her of my glorious news. But all I saw was a sad face on Emma. I think this was the saddest I've ever seen Emma in my life. Tears running down her face. I came up to her and said, "What's wrong?" She handed me the letter, and she wasn't able to have a baby. And this was a task that seemed unsurmountable, impossible, because Emma can't have a baby. But we started looking into other avenues of doing this. We started looking online, and we saw that we can adopt a baby. I mean, sure, it won't be of our genes, but it would still be ours. So we went on there and we said we would like to adopt a kid, but we're gonna keep it till after WrestleMania. And once after WrestleMania, we're gonna have our kid, have our glorious family together. But with raising a kid, that takes a lot of time. A lot of time and responsibility. Something that 2 full-time wrestlers cannot do. Time is not on our side. We are traveling across the world. I mean, one day we're in this city and then we're in another state. So it was decided between us that after WrestleMania, Emma is going to retire. And she's going to look over what we plan to have, Ruby Bisping. I'm sure she is going to be the most glorious daughter ever. But that also means at WrestleMania, I'm not just fighting for myself. I don't want just for myself. I do not want the Raw World Heavyweight Championship just for myself. I want it for my family. I want those bigger paychecks, the big payoff of winning the main event at WrestleMania for my family to get started. Because with Emma not being able to wrestle, being that she has to retire, it is on to me to try and really bring in the money for all of us. Even if I'm not there physically, I can be there to help at least ease the pain with bringing in the money home to help to make sure that our child has a glorious childhood. And honestly, I cannot wait.
Tan simple como eso, tan simple como un beso, todo puede cambiar. Beso.